Ready? Stand by.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hiracheta Shooting Sports. So if you follow the Facebook page, you know that we got some packages in the mail. And the title of this video, I'm sure, gives it away that we got some modifications or upgrades to the Canik TP9SFX. And if you watched the last video, then you know that we're running the Canik this year for competition and in the next year. So they're not really modifications. I want to be clear on that because, like I said in the last video, the Canik TP9SFX is ready to go out of the box. There's really nothing you absolutely have to do to it. Get it, open it up, load it, and go shooting with it, and it's ready to go. But we did find a couple of things, mainly just to customize it a little bit and to help out in some areas. So we'll get into that. So anyway, what we have is, first off, the flared magwell, or just magwell. This is made by Taylor Freelance. We actually went on shootersconnection.com and bought these just because Taylor Freelance's website didn't have the colors in stock. So we went to Shooters Connection. We're not sponsored by any of the websites or any of the manufacturers of these parts, by the way. But I just want to tell you guys where to find them if you do end up getting a Canik TP9SFX. One thing I found that it was kind of difficult finding any aftermarket parts, upgrades, modifications for the Canik TP9, just because there's really not much you have to do with it. So, so anyway, this flared magwell, if for those of you that don't know, what this is made to do is on your Canik, this will actually lock into the firearm, and it will sit, I don't know if I can get it going here, kind of like that at the bottom of the magazine well. And what this is designed to do is, when you're shooting, you run it dry, you drop the magazine, you grab another magazine, and you're indexing where the front of it is. Well, when you're shooting, what you want to do is you want to keep your firearm in front of you and on sight. So you really don't want to be having to pay attention to what you're actually doing. You want your reloading to be natural. You want to practice this thousands of times and then continue to practice it. So it's just one easy fluid motion from any of your magazines from the belt. But when you're in the moment, you're shooting, you're at the stage, you're on the line, and time is essential. You're just grabbing it and you're trying to shove it in there. So this helps. So what this does is, on the inside, it's, I don't know if you'll be able to see, it's very smooth, and it's actually polished on all of the sides. And again, what it does is, when you've got it in front of you and you go to load this magazine in there, if you don't get it just right or straight or right into the magazine well itself, and you kind of angle it or clip the side or something like that, this will, with the round in the magazine, this will actually force the magazine right into the magwell, no matter how bad you mess up the reload. It will just, as long as you can get it in there, and it'll go straight into the magazine, and it'll sit like that. So pretty neat. Again, these are made by Taylor Freelance. This will actually, on the Canik, you'll take the back strap off, and this will actually mount or secure into a little port, little opening in the back of the magazine well, and that's kind of what it will look like on the handgun. So pretty neat. The thing about this is that you got to be careful. We got to looking at certain things. Some upgrades or modifications to firearms will change what class you're actually shooting, and you want to be careful because you don't want to be shooting in a higher class than you're you're capable of. And like we mentioned in the last video, you can put an optic like a red dot or something on the Canik, but when you do that, it's going to put you in a different class, a higher class, like an open class or something like that. I can't go through the list of classes with you and tell you what each one specifically says or requires, because there's a bunch. So, but we know we don't want to shoot in the open class just yet. That's something we're working towards. We're kind of staying in the lower classes. We're really trying to stay in like the production, limited, and tack irons classes. At first we really wanted to do just the production, but the Canik turns out, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the ported slides on the Canik right here, I think automatically disqualify it for production model. What production is basically just stock firearm pistol right out of the box with nothing done to it, no special pistols or anything like that. You go to your gun store, buy the base model Glock or SIG or anything like that, and just shoot it just like that. Limited, I think, is what the Canik comes out of the box as, which there's not many differences in the limited class that I'm aware of yet. As I'm making these videos, we're still learning things as we go about divisions and classes and stuff like that. So if any of you actual USPSA shooters and 3-gun shooters get on here, don't kill me in the comments. But anyway, make sure you know what you're doing to your firearm before you go out if you're just starting out. The best thing I found is, you can research it online. It's a lot of reading. Or you can go to these ranges, to your local range, if you've got like a range that runs 3-gun matches or USPSA matches, and just ask. Those guys know. They know. I mean, they're the walking USPSA rule book and 3-gun rule book. So, and again, I believe these rules change at least every year. So they're always changing. So just go ask. But anyway, again, flared magwell by Taylor Freelance. We bought this at shootersconnection.com online, just because they were out of the color we wanted. So moving on, the next thing we bought to upgrade is again by Taylor Freelance, Canik +4 base plate for the magazines. So, and one quick thing that I want to mention is that the Canik TP9SFX magazines come straight out of the box with an already +2 magazine plate, base plate. These are standard 18-round magazines without the base plate, and then they already have a +2. I don't know if you can see that here. +2 plate. So we went and we bought a Taylor Freelance +4 base plate. One noticeable thing is obviously you can get them in different colors, but and colors actually, it's not just a preference. I'm starting to learn is when you're out there and you're dropping your magazines as you're walking these long stages, some are short, some are long. It does help if you've got different colors than the guy before you or after you who may have thought they dropped one. Also, you can get these are, polished metal, so you can actually get these engraved, someplace and with like your little custom initials or logo or whatever. And we'll eventually get these engraved too. But so anyway, I haven't jumped into how to take these off and how to put these on. Shouldn't be that hard. These do look like they screw in. There's a little screw here. So, and we just haven't done that yet. Also, it is good to be mindful that, again, in USPSA and 3-gun, certain divisions, shooting classes or divisions, restrict how much ammunition you can have. So make sure to pay attention to that. You don't want to show up with, I literally saw for some firearm manufacturers, magazine extensions, ammunition extensions that were like plus 10 on, and they had, I think one had it on a 30 round Glock magazine. So, obviously you're not going to be able to do stuff like that in certain classes. So, that's kind of like running a 50 or 100 round drum on your AR-15. So, be sure that you're mindful of that when you get these plate editions. These we actually did buy from Taylor Freelance website. So let me see TF on there. But yeah, we got those. So as we get more magazines and stuff like that, we'll get some more. The next stuff that we got from the Ben Stoeger Pro Shop.com, their online store. Got a gun, and like I mentioned to you in the last video, the Canik comes with a holster, and it comes in a holster, and it has a little paddle that it screws into that you can use right out of the box. I've actually seen, I'm not a fan of it. First off, I'm not a fan of the holster. I think it's great that you get a holster with your gun. Not many companies will sell a holster with their gun, but I'm just not a fan of it. But if you're getting into this and you're trying to save a buck, which is absolutely important, you can just run that, and you can just get a belt. I didn't have to. I had an option, so didn't want to run that. So what we ended up doing is we got a new holster. This is a competition holster. This is actually a Ben Stoeger Boss DOH hanger holster. The holster body is made by Blade Tech, and you can see, if you're familiar with Blade Tech, you can see some of their hardware on here. This actually says TP9SFX. This might be inverted for you guys, I'm sorry, but you get the idea. This has got light retention, which is what you want. You know, in the real world, you want something that's going to retain your gun really well, protect it from being taken out of the holster in a struggle. But for competition purposes, time is money, so to speak. So the quicker you can get your gun out of the holster and on target and start putting rounds down, the better. So after doing some reviews and stuff like that, again, one thing about the TP9SFX is there aren't a lot of products for it. I don't know why that is. I really don't. But I don't know if it's because was designed overseas or what. But there's not a lot of products for it. So I had a hard time kind of finding holsters and stuff for it. But when I started looking for holsters, this popped up everywhere. Everybody said, get a Ben Stoeger Boss hanger. So one thing about this holster is, and I know you're not going to be able to see it on video, but I'm trying anyway, is the outside is a flat black plastic material, but the inside, you can kind of see it, it's a polished material sort of on the plastic to create less friction on the weapon. And then the Ben Stoeger components of this holster are these two pads right here. This is the hanger system. Again, these are customizable in color. This attaches to the holster, and what this does is you run your belt through here, but if you'll look, this kind of swivels. You've got a nut system right here in this little line, in the middle line, and you can actually unscrew this, and you can go up one or down one. So if you want the holster to hang a little lower on your belt or one higher on your belt, then that's what this is for. This is right in the middle. I'm actually probably I'll have to play with it, but can almost guarantee that I'm gonna go I want the holster a little bit lower than my belt. I'm a long arm guy. Being in law enforcement, I also prefer, you know, a drop leg system or something like that, and have my holster a little bit in a normal drawing pattern, to where I'm not having to bring my arm up here first and then grab my gun and then come up higher. You don't want that. So, and I'm not knocking it. Some shooters probably, you know, prefer that. Depending, just depends on you and your preference. But this will give that to you. This is actually a metal, aluminum, so this is not plastic. So this looks to be made very well. And when you order this holster from Ben Stoger's website, or wherever you're ordering it from, you can see these little spacers in here, right there and right there. You can actually get these longer or shorter, so you can create more space between the holster and your belt and body, which is kind of a good thing. I went with standard spacers just because I wasn't sure how far I wanted it from my body. So I can run a couple of matches with this holster, and then if I need to, I can get longer spacers and get it more away from my body. To when you know, the big deal is going to be gripping it when your fingers come out. How far are your fingers going to hit your body and your belt, you know, before it can grip that gun up like this. So if you have it further away, then you're going to clear your body. So again, that's pretty cool. You can tighten this down. I already mentioned it. I forgot to just really say it. You can tighten this down once you get it where you like it. So you can actually, when you get it on your body, and you get the gun in there, if you want it straight up and down, you can do that. If you want it, you know, kind of tilted back, you can do that. Or kind of tilted forward, you can do that. There's different options and stuff like that. If you'll notice, this holster has a short top on it, so it covers the trigger guard and everything, but it leaves all of this open, and that is so when you take this plate off and these rear sights, you put your optic on it and it's not going to hit on anything. So that's important too. It covers everything for your competition needs. Again, we got that at Ben Stoger Pro Shop online.com. The other thing that we got with that holster, and I'll mention more about that here in a second, the holster and everything, is well, I guess I can mention it now. This holster was part of you can buy it individually, and you can go on and buy other components that I'm fixing to show you individually, but they actually have a package deal. You know, it's a competition holster rig deal, and had several items in it, and this is what we got. So all these items I'm showing you came with the package for one price instead of having to price these out individually. So the next thing that came in that package with the holster are these Ghost magazine holsters for your belt. And the cool thing about these are, when I was ordering them, I didn't look to see if you could buy colors or adjust the colors or anything like that. I'm pretty sure on their website they have different colored magazine holsters, but these just came in like a dark blue, kind of purple color, and I don't know if that's just because I didn't specify or I thought they were black, so that's my fault. But anyway, it comes with these. It comes with 5 of them actually, so you can carry, with their package rig, you can carry 5 magazines, and then you can go on and get more as you need them. But I didn't see many guys running more than 3 or 4 magazines in a competition. But that all comes down to preference and you as a shooter and how much ammunition you're going to need for each stage. So being in the new shooter, I definitely wanted more than I was going to need. So the cool thing about these, though, that I noticed, I didn't quite catch on to it whenever I was ordering it, but when I got them, I was trying to figure out each package that I just showed you had 2 of these in them. One has the belt attachment here, and one doesn't. And I was trying to figure out what the deal with that was. They also are kind of a little different. This one is a little bit wider, and this one's a little bit slimmer. And then it hit me. So, you know, depending on where you want to put these on your belt, you got 5 of them. And again, some classes in USPSA and 3-gun require you to space these out on your belt so far apart when you're shooting and have them in certain places. So you can't just bunch them all up on the front of your belt from your belly button all the way around to your spine. There's rules about that. So these, first off, this, don't know. Oh, yeah. So these will actually you can turn these 360 degrees, however you need them on your belt. But depending on your skill, your shooting, you know, preferences and stuff like that, this one will allow you to carry the magazines one way, or one of 3 ways rather. So this is the sideways magazine. This was on your belt. This would go in there like that, and then you would put these on your belt. Or this way. Okay. So again, I don't think I've mentioned it too much. I briefly touched on it, but in USPSA competition, when you're drawing your magazines from your belt, you always want to come down on it and index. That's why you have this little cutout on the sides. It's for your finger to go in, because when you draw that out, you want to pull it out with your finger on the side that your bullet is actually pointing to, because when you load it, it's just an indicator for your brain, your muscle memory, that if you grab your magazine like that and you go to load it, your finger always needs to be in front of you, facing on the opposite side of you. So when you have your gun out, you don't have to look. Your finger's there, and then shove it in there. So this will allow you to carry it like that, sideways, or facing the other way. And also these have little, you can kind of see it in there, these have little tongues, pressure, that put pressure on the magazine so they don't fall out or anything like that. Not sure if those can be adjusted or anything like that. But the other one is not as wide. So what this is designed for, you can take this off, this belt part, and put it on the back of this one. This, as you start having to reposition this in a clock or manner around the side of your belt, these are going to start, if you're, again, I'm a right hand shooter, I'm going left hand. So this is the front of my body at my belly button. As I move this on the belt, it's going to start facing different directions. So this will allow you to run your magazines, not sure what those are, run your magazines long ways instead of wide like this. You can actually put it in there like that or like that. So again, and when you draw it, you can come down, get your finger in, and draw it out, which is going to be handy if you have these kind of like on your, you know, your back left hip, kind of at your, what would that be, like the 7 o'clock sort of, for those of you watching. Again, this video I know is inverted, it's on my cell phone, sorry. But yeah, so these are really optional. These give you different options on how you want to do them. Again, if I didn't mention, this package comes with 5 of these. So every package has 2 of these for sideways holster or long waist holster. You can set it up however you want to. So I thought that was really cool. You didn't have to specify when you bought it which one you want to do. You didn't have to sit there and figure out, well, I need 2 of them to run this way because they're going to be on the front of my body, and I need 3 of them to run the other way because they're going to be on the back of my body. So you didn't have to go through all that. They just gave you, said, have fun. Again, those are Ghost magazine pouches from Ben Stoger's website, and that package comes with 5. Pretty neat deal. You can buy them individually. I'm not sure how much they were individually, but I will tell you this, that there were similar packages online. One of them was Amazon. didn't have the holster, but it had a belt if you don't have a competition belt, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But it had magazine pouches on them, and they were, you could tell they were slightly nicer or cooler looking, and depending on your opinion. I certainly liked them. I thought they were pretty cool looking. I don't remember the brand. I'm not here trying to promote brands or anything, but they had like foam inside, and they just looked cool. And one belt from that company, I think it was like Scorpion something, and just throwing it out there in case you want to get it. I'm here to help people, not hinder people. One belt and 5 of those magazine pouches were a couple of $100s. They were expensive, and I found this package. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna throw prices out there. I'll let you find out for your own. Kind of why I'm telling you where I got these products. But they were also expensive. This package for the holster and 5 of these ghost these ghost pouches, and this belt I'm fixing to show you, it was a couple $100s, but it's everything in one. It was a good startup, and it, they made a holster to fit the Canik, which was important too. So I'll show you this belt real fast. So again, all included in the Ben Stoker package was a double Alpha Academy competition belt. Sorry for the invertedness if it's inverted for you, but I wasn't going to take this out of the package, but I guess I am for the sake of the video. So this belt was pretty neat. You don't have to have a competition belt, first and foremost. I did not have to have this. I have a nylon belt from, again, being a police officer. I've collected different things over the years. You can go to any cop shop, as I like to call them, online, any store or Amazon or anything like that, and search nylon duty belts, D-U-T-Y. Here come the comments on that one. But you can search those, and I mean, I think certain companies like Uncle Mike's makes a good one. I don't know if Safariland makes one, but there's different companies that make these for law enforcement, and they're started like 15, 20 bucks. And they actually have a buckle, a plastic locking buckle. It usually has like 2 locking features on it. It'll be like you got to depress the top and the bottom, and then a button in the front of it at the same time. So they're really secure, they're really good, and they're really cheap. And that's all you need. All you need is I recommend, from what I understand, is a nylon shooting belt. You can just use a leather belt through your belt loops and stick them on. It's however you want to do it. That's the cool thing about these competitions is it's whatever you want to do. I went to one of these matches, and literally, when I first started, I was looking at all these products online, trying to get a competition this and a competition this, because I mean, everybody's going to tell you when you're starting out, don't worry about spending money on stuff, as long as it works. But I'm different. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money, but I also wanted to invest a little bit to when I get out there to show others that have been doing it for a couple of years that, hey, I'm serious about this. And I am serious about it. And so I wanted to do a little better than just duct tape in my living room. But if that's what you're running, then cool. Nobody cares at these ranges. So like I said, this guy showed up, and again, I'm a law enforcement. I have a lot of different products, and I had considered temporarily running a law enforcement tactical molly gear system plate carrier. I thought about it. It's already got magazine pouches on it. I don't have to get a belt. I just maybe put a holster on my regular belt and throw that on. It's got all my stuff on it. Good to go. And I kind of shook my head and laughed. And I was like, nah, that'd be silly. I think that'd be a little much. I haven't seen anybody in these videos online of competitions doing anything like that. They all have cool shooter uniforms, and they've got these belts and these holsters and stuff like that. And my first day out to the local range out here, lo and behold, this guy shows up in a plate carrier and a battle belt. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a Molly gear system, and it's about that wide. It's just kind of a little wider than a regular belt, and he's running that. And you know, this stuff is kind of military, kind of law enforcement, and I was like, okay, all right then, do you. So and that guy turned out to be, I didn't knock it. I don't want you to think I did. No, I was like, okay, you know, that's pretty cool. I mean, he's making it work for him. And it turns out that guy was, I think, the fastest that day. So it worked for him. Made me start reconsidering things. But I still decided that's not what I wanted to do, because obviously he has made that work for him and his shooting style. So again, whatever you guys want to use to put your gun in a holster and to carry ammunition with you, don't let anybody knock it. Okay, if it works for you, it works. If it doesn't work, you know, then you may need to look at something else. But when you're just getting started, use what you have, absolutely, until you can work your way up to these things. Again, I really like this package because it wasn't that expensive. I mean, if this package is a little too expensive for you, I mean, you've already invested more in your gun and ammunition. So just to kind of give you an idea. So anyway, this belt system, Double Alpha Academy, is a really neat kind of belt system, and also a little tricky one. They make these types of belts in law enforcement, and I've never been a fan. But for some reason, when I saw it for competition, I saw some value in it, and I'll get to that in a second. This belt is an inner belt, and it Velcros. So you open it up. This belt is a little bit thinner, but it's got Velcro on both sides of the belt. This will go through on your actual pants that you're wearing. This will go through the belt loop. It'll open up. There's no buckles, so it'll slide through your belt loop, and then it will overlap on itself with the Velcro. You'll have two ends, and it'll overlap, and then that will overlap on it with Velcro, just like that. Once you get that, then this is your actual shooting belt. This is a little thicker and a little bit longer, wider. This is what all of your holster and everything are attached to. This, again, there's no belt system. This comes open like this, Velcro on both sides, and then there's a little Velcro kind of loop system right here. That's your buckle. So you'll open this up, and you'll actually put this over your Velcro inner belt, and same thing, you'll overlap it with Velcro, and then you'll take that loop and secure them from coming open. And that's your system. So the benefit that I was talking about that I saw in it for competition is that with no buckle, you can put this on however you need to, but where it overlaps, you can slide it around like that. So gives you more real estate on any part of your body instead of having about a 3 or 4 inch buckle gap right there. So again, we got that at Boss Stoger or Ben Stoger Pro Shop online. But that's it, guys. Real fast before we get out, if you have any questions, leave comments. Hit us up on the Facebook page. I will definitely answer any questions that you have. And make sure that you check out our sponsor, Butch's Guns in Vernon, Texas. If you haven't checked them out, you can find them online at butchesgunstx.com, or you can visit them in Vernon, Texas. They got everything you need: firearms, ammunition, accessories, archery, reloading, apparel, optics, everything. So go check them out. Thanks again, Butch's Guns, for sponsoring us. Make sure that you do like and follow our Facebook page at Hiracheta Shooting Sports, and that you subscribe to our channel here. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on this video and follow us so you get all the notifications when we drop new videos. If you click on the little bell icon, you'll get notified immediately when we drop a new video. Thanks again, guys. We appreciate all of the new people that have been joining us on Facebook and YouTube. Really means a lot. Thank you so much. Let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again, guys. Have a great week, and we will see you on the range.